put that statistic on screen, but Brisbane had the least, then Sydney, then Melbourne. Look, long story short, injuries are a very important part of a team's success. Like we've already seen, look, I'm recording as of, just mid-December. We've already seen Bailey Smith's just gone down with an ACL injury. Dan McStay has gone down with, I believe, an ACL injury as well. So that's 2 key players to their respective teams who are out for the season injured. What's really important is when a key position player gets injured. I'm talking a key defender or a key forward. We've seen how hard Sydney found it when Rampy and both McCartans were out injured. They really struggled, and that's a big reason why they struggled in 2023. That's why I think in 2024 Sydney would do a lot better, because if they just get the injuries right and a little bit more depth in that position, they should be fine. And in terms of all the stats I've gone through, not the best way of quantifying things, but an extremely accurate way of being able to quantify how your team's doing. Based off everything I've said and read about the stats, Essendon and St Kilda overperformed in 2023 statistically. So I'll be looking at those teams, like I said in my predictions, to drop. And teams of Carlton and Collingwood were generally really good with stats, but the glaringly obvious teams that I thought were always high up on the important stats: Adelaide, Geelong were relatively high up, Port Adelaide were relatively high up, Brisbane seemed to do well, and Melbourne were always high up as well. As were the GWS Giants. Dead last in most of those were West Coast, but North Melbourne actually did quite well on some of those stats. The Gold Coast struggled, the Dogs are pretty poor statistically, as were Hawthorn. Richmond was up and down. Fremantle were pretty poor. Sydney actually did alright statistically, but relatively up and down. So when you're listening to these stats and you're sort of looking at through the scope of your team, you should be able to sort of get a decent idea with how they are projected to do in 2024 based off the stats. Right? And based off the stats, Adelaide should be finishing probably top 4. Collingwood might have overperformed, like Essendon and St Kilda, who won't be making the 8 in 2024. We've seen Port Adelaide were doing pretty well. North Melbourne has some good stats, so they should be jumping. There's a lot of if, buts, maybes, absolute yappy, yada, yada, yada. Who fucking knows? But if you enjoyed, make sure you like. A different type of video there, a bit more of a sit down, discuss, and talk through it all. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe. I want to do more of these videos where I try to analyze some things, because I'm trying to be a smart fucker in a dumb fucker's head. Nonetheless, follow the TikTok as well, FTFooty. I post there all the time, so follow that. Anyway, I'll be seeing you in another video. Thank you for watching.